Welcome to the College of Information Communications Ambassador session to learn more about becoming an ambassador for the 24-25 school year. My name is Doris Striffler. I am the recruiter here for the College of Information Communications, and I will lead the ambassadors this year in helping plan your events, scheduling your events, making sure y'all are all trained and ready for the events, and keeping morale high for the entirety of the semester. I also have with me Dr. Rashandra James, so I'll let her introduce herself.
Hey, Haley, I think we met before. Definitely seeing you. Nice to see you again. Rashandra James, Assistant Dean for Student Success. Excited to have you here.
Awesome. So we have a presentation, so I'm going to pull that up. I'll share that. Awesome. Can everyone see? You can just give me a thumbs up. Awesome. Thank you, Haley. So during this presentation today, we are going to go over the program and what you can kind of anticipate from that, and where the program came from historically, our responsibilities or the responsibilities for the ambassadors, and then some expectations that we have for the ambassadors as well. So a little bit of a program overview. The ambassador program began in 2019. It was actually something that Rashandra had seen at the University of Georgia during a visit there, and she thought it was a great program to have students really take on some leadership in our college and kind of be responsible for working with prospective students and working with current students to make sure they really enjoyed their major, they were excited, or helped recruit them over to our college. The ambassador program currently is a volunteer program. So that means that you will not get paid for this position, but we'll talk about some of the benefits, even though that it's not paid. And we try to make sure we're representing all 7 majors in our ambassador population. And then again, I'll be leading the program again this year. And I'm really excited. It was really fun this past year. So some responsibilities, there's a lot of them, but they all kind of focus around events. And so some of the types of events you could anticipate serving in, because we have them consistently all the time every year. We have Welcome Wednesday, or I should change that. It is Welcome Wednesday. It is going to be a welcome event at the beginning of the semester. We are unsure. We haven't locked in exactly what we're going to call it yet. But anybody who's been here as a student will know Welcome Wednesday. It's the event where we invite all of our first year students to come mingle, just have fun, get to know faculty and staff, get to meet some of our organizations, get free t-shirts, and just again, spend that first week doing something outside of your residence hall, outside of academics. Another big event that happens in the fall is Family Weekend. This past year, we called it Cupcakes with Cocky, and we really had a lot of excitement at that event this year. I think telling people that Cocky was going to be there made them come, and so we're not mad about that. So Family Weekend always happens in September, and then we have fall and spring admission events. In the fall, there's a few open houses, and in the spring, we have Admitted Students Day and an open house event as well. So those always happen, and we usually have those dates really early on, so students would know about our welcome event, Family Weekend, and the admissions events pretty much from probably even before you go home for those events. The building tours, we have those during the school year every Monday and Friday, and it's something that we would really like students to start taking the initiative on leading and having staff members be backups for. There are also alumni events, so there's quite a few events that happen throughout the semester that or throughout the academic year that we know we're going to have, that are times where alumni are going to come, and so it's a great opportunity for ambassadors to serve so that you can get to know the alumni, and obviously help if they may be used to being down in the Coliseum and not in the J school, so they might need some help just finding their way. But we always have a big one right around homecoming, and then There is one that's happening. I would kind of justify or say it's kind of like an alumni event, the Buckeye Lecture, Rashandra, that's happening tomorrow. It always happens near the end of February. And then we had an event this spring that I know you were at, Haley, the Women's Leadership Week, and so there were some alumni at that event as well. They weren't all alumni, but there was a lot of them there. We also usually have some sort of tailgate, so you might be asked to help with that in the fall. The dean hosts different lunches, and the directors will host different things, and even Dr. Shirley Carter. She'll host some things, and she always asks for some ambassador representation there. So those happen a couple times this semester as well. And then our development team usually reaches out to us for students to meet with donors or be a part of any of their events as well. So just know that those are things you could anticipate happening. Some other responsibilities, these kind of go in with the tours. But these might be ones that we don't have as much notice about, whereas the other ones we're going to have a really good idea of when those are happening and being able to give y'all months in advance typically to plan for. But occasionally I'll get some that are a lot shorter. So a one-on-one with a student might come through from admissions. We may get last minute requests to help with visitors for donors or the Dean's Leadership Council, which are people who meet with the dean and discuss ways that CIC, the J School, the I School can all grow, and kind of talk through those things. High school visits, those also usually have a little bit longer than 2 weeks, but it has happened that has been really short notice. Any admissions requests might come through. And then sometimes with some events, different people might realize, hey, I need more help getting this set up. So that might be something that pops up in the last minute within 2 weeks is what I kind of say. So just as a reminder, being an ambassador is a full academic year commitment. So from August till essentially April, because most events do kind of slow down in that finals week of the spring. But they do happen throughout the week. So you might have an event that's on a Saturday, you might have an event that's on a Tuesday, you might have one that's on a Friday, and they happen at different times of the day. So I have requests out currently for different things that happen in the morning or happen after 5, happen all day. So lots of different times that students can commit. So the goal is that hopefully you can find some things that fit into your schedule, because our expectations are that students kind of have that you can look at your schedule and see that there could be 2 hours every week that you could commit to the program. Will you commit 2 hours every week to the program? Probably not, but you should know that there's always going to be at least 2 hours that you could say, if there was ever an event Wednesdays from 5 to 7, I could always do that event, or whatever the time might be that works for you. There will be a meeting in April. It'll be more of like a social meeting, mainly for the new ambassadors to get to know each other, and we'll invite the old ambassadors or returning ambassadors, and we'll invite different faculty and staff to that event. So the ones that we work with the most, just to kind of do a little bit more of an informal meet and greet and get to know everyone. And then in August, we'll have an orientation and headshots that we will schedule and send that to y'all as well. The other expectations are that you represent CIC and your major at events. So I always try to tell the ambassadors that just because you know your major, that's amazing. And I'm going to try to always give you things that relate to your major, but you should be comfortable talking about any major that's in the college. We will meet monthly-ish as a group. We did this more in the fall because there was more to talk about, more to prep for, things we hadn't really had a chance to include in orientation. So we met a few times to get those things knocked out in the fall, but we'll meet monthly-ish as a group 2 or 3 times a semester. We'll try to do that. And then there is an attendance form following each event that I request students fill out, just because you may have jumped in at the last minute to help for an event, or It's just easier for me if y'all just put in how many hours you served so that we can kind of keep track of what y'all have done this semester or this school year. The benefits, I'll jump over to the first one or the second one. The reason I have y'all record your hours is because you do get a cord for graduation if you serve at least 30 hours during the full academic year. So orientation is included in that. And if you were to help with like an admitted student stay, that's already at least 10 hours. So you're already a third of the way there just with 2 events. You'll also get CIC exclusive, ambassador exclusive apparel. So we have polos, we have blazers that do have to get returned, but we do have polos and blazers. And then we also have t-shirts and different other swag items that will be exclusive to the ambassadors. You'll also receive volunteer hours and presentation experience. Those are probably the 2 biggest things that come from this experience. And so for the volunteer hours, I have been able to write letters of recommendation or speak on behalf of the ambassadors for their volunteer experience for anything you might need it for. And I always think if you're willing to talk about your major and be excited about it, for free, just imagine what it's going to be like when you graduate and you're excited to share it still. And then again, presentation experience, just really getting that opportunity to lead tours, lead the information sessions, be at those admitted students events, being able to talk in front of people is a great experience for everyone. Another thing is you'll get to network with CEOs, presidents of companies, and just really cool people who have really cool jobs in the industries that y'all are excited about. So anchors or, people who are big in their firm, if they're advertising, whatever it might be. And then obviously the thing that we know all college students love is free food. Anytime there's an event that there's going to be food at, you're more than welcome to have it. So that's kind of a fun benefit, but just know that you will get to eat at these events where food is present. All right, so next steps, and then like I said, if you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. The next steps is you'll apply to be an ambassador. And then applications do close on the 13th of March at 11:59 p.m. So that is like 2 weeks away. But I wanted to give y'all time to complete the applications. If you didn't have time this week, you'd have time over spring break or when you get back from spring break, hopefully, to complete them. They aren't very long, but that doesn't mean you should wait until March 13th at 10 o'clock to start applying for it. You'll receive a notification within 2 weeks of the applications closing on whether or not you've been offered the position to become an ambassador, and then you'll have to accept the offer. And we'll make sure that that is clear when we email y'all to offer you the position. You just want to make sure that you've read through everything before you accept it and have had time to think about it. And then I kind of spoke about this earlier. There will be a welcome social for new ambassadors and then a mandatory orientation as well in August, but those dates will come with the position offer so that you can have some time to make sure those work in your schedule. So, Rashandra, do you have anything to add?
Oh, hey, Madeline, we got a new participant. I know Madeline. We met a few weeks ago. You'd be a great ambassador.
Hi, I'm sorry. I jumped on so late, but I was trying to rush home to get on.
Well, lucky for you, we recorded it. You're good.
Lovely.
No need to rush. So happy to have you and Haley here. So Dora did a very good job of kind of going over the nuts and bolts of the program. I would say it's one of those things that you would need to be a little more passionate about, because your schedules are busy, and I would tell it is in being honest about availability. A lot of the times things are nice to be a part of, but really thinking about, does this really fit in with what I'm going to be doing next year in the fall and the spring? and just kind of thinking through that before you apply, because we really do depend on you all to provide that student experience for our donors, for our special guests during our events. And so that would be my only addition, is just making sure that you really consider where you are. And it's sometimes things are nice to do, but it may not be nice to do, and it may not be the right time. So only you can determine that. We can take a look at it and try to do that, but only you can determine that. And this is a valuable skill as you move forward. It was something that I had to learn as an adult, right? Much later than college. It's like, oh God, I took on too much. I can't do it all. So I just want you to think about if you have the availability for it. It's a great opportunity. You get exposed to so much. I don't know how often I'm contacted. Can we get an ambassador for this, an ambassador for that? Dora is typically now my go-to. So she gets them more than I do now because I've passed it along. But we get so many requests for you all. Student people are chomping at the bit to meet students, and I am not exaggerating. They want to meet you. You are more believable than we are. In terms of the experience here, in terms of what you can expect, even the parents are looking to you all for your experiences and your opinions on things too. So I'm happy that you're here. I think a great sign is that you came today, because you didn't have to be here, right? And so it's kind of a weary, dreary Tuesday for spring break is next week. You didn't have to come, but you did that on your own. So I would say that's a very positive step in the right direction.
Yeah. And I would say too, something I hear the ambassadors say, and I kind of think it goes along with a lot of what Rashandra was talking about, is your experiences at USC, but even your experience as an ambassador is going to be what you put into it. So if you want to have a really good experience, then, you know, you're going to be a name that I see if you're selected as ambassador happening to sign up for the events all the time. And like Rashandra says, I get emails at least once a week for a new event that's popped up, or for events that I have on our schedule and that maybe I only have one or two people sign up for. And they're like, I really would love to have more ambassadors. We really want the ambassadors there. And so you guys are really the face of the college. And so families love to hear from students. I've started to include students and my ambassadors in as many things as humanly possible. We had an accreditation thing happen recently, and Rashandra requested to have students, and we had a few ambassadors go to that as well. And so that really helped, you know, amplify how much the SJMC is doing here within the college. And so I think the students added to that. And so again, y'all sharing your experiences with families is really valuable. The other thing I will note, because it might not be super clear to y'all just by how this is set up, is that we don't do interviews. We base your selection solely off of your applications at this time. So it is something that we do take very seriously. We do look through your applications. We will meet as a committee, Rashandra, myself, and a few other people. We will meet and we will discuss y'all's applications for like a while to make sure that we have the best mix of students to represent us as a college. And so again, we want to make sure we have all 7 majors represented. That is really the biggest goal within the ambassador program. And so just keep that in mind, that that's another reason why I say, like, don't just wait until your application the hour before it closes, because you want to make sure you put enough time and effort into it. So do y'all have any questions that you feel like would be good for other people to hear?
Yeah, I'm curious if anyone is both a university ambassador and a CIC ambassador.
I don't think we have anybody this year that is. Doesn't mean you can't be. It's just going to be we want to make sure that you have time for both and can really commit to both. Because like Rashandra was saying, sometimes things, you know, you're excited about something, and then once you get into it, you realize you don't have time for it, or you might not be as passionate about it as you thought you were. And so we just want to make sure that whoever we have join us does also have the time for the program. Thank you.
I just have one question. I know we emailed earlier, but the application, as I remember, you said it was going to be on the same link that we found the Zoom link at.
Yes.
Okay. Just
Yeah.
want to make sure. Thank
And
you.
if for some reason you pulled it up earlier today, just click refresh. I know I'll do that as I'll pull up tabs early and then go back to them later. It was not on there earlier today, but I talked to our webmaster and it has now been added. So it did not publish. It was not her fault. The system didn't go through the way it was supposed to. So but it is now up and available. The link will be there through March 13th at 11:59, and then it'll go away. So
Perfect. Thank you.
yes. And if y'all this presentation is being recorded, and so the recording should be up on that same website as well within the next couple of hours. So if you have any friends who couldn't make it and they're like, oh man, just direct them to the website. You recommending these opportunities to your friends. Y'all are some of our best representatives of the program and of the college. And so sharing these types of things. I know I've had students come up to me and say, I didn't even know it was a thing. And so just making sure everyone knows about it. All right, I'm going to stop sharing the screen for now. Are there any other questions, concerns? Okay. All right, Madeline, I am going to throw in just a form so that we know that you attended today. And we do have one more. So again, that if someone wants to come and speak to myself and Rashandra live, we have one the Monday after spring break, which is the 11th from 12:30 to 1. So tried to pick a different day of the week to accommodate different class schedules and a different time. So all right, friends. Well, if you think of anything else, you all know my email, I'm sure of at this point. And it is listed on the website as well. And so I'm happy to answer any questions or find the answer for y'all. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you both. It was good to see you.
Thank
It's good to see
you.
you.
Dora, can you hang